Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Thrive with René Lunch Break Conversation. How you all doing? My name is René Antoine. I am a financial services entrepreneur. I help people protect, save, and grow their income. And I am live with one of the I was a business partner, people I'm in business with, Dr. Traci Brooks. Dr. Tracy, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing, Renee. I am absolutely doing very well. Spectacular. Thanks for asking.
Thank you for being here live with me. My goal with Thrive with Renee is to basically interview entrepreneurs, people who are thriving in the field and who can share with us some knowledge, tools, and tips to help us thrive as well. So you are the perfect person to have this conversation with.
Well, thank you so
Um,
much.
You are welcome. So, for those of you watching online, I see you coming. I appreciate it. Kindly share this conversation. Come with your question. This is going to be such a powerful conversation that we need in our life, in our family, in our community. So, to get started, Tracy, I'm going to have you introduce yourself to the audience watching right now, and then I'm just going to go ahead and shoot in, questions towards you, okay?
Sure, no problem. So, my name is Traci Brooks. Um, I've been in education for over 30 years in higher ed, which I loved. I think it's through DNA. uh, I'm also an entrepreneur, and I'm just loving helping people and educating people as well. I've been an actress on television for about 7 years back in the day, in the 1990s. It was a show called The Awakening. It was actually a nighttime soap opera. I played Candy on the show. Many people are aware of that. So I'm a mother, I'm a wife, a daughter. I'm loving life. I'm a woman of God, a minister of the gospel. I'm also a John Maxwell certified life coach and trainer. So I've done a few things. I'm grateful to God for all that He's allowed me to do. I have 2 masters, went through a doctoral program. So I've been busy, but you know what? As far as I'm concerned, I'm just getting started.
Well, this is such a long resume, and I congratulate you for going through all of that so you can know that you bring in the best and the best to the people that you serve. So that says a lot about you. And for all of you watching right now, I did not even know that Tracy was a doctor until last night when we were in the training together, right? So that shows her humility and how she's very a humble person, and she's just all about helping the community and teaching one another. So, quick question for you, Tracy. So you are in a educator in higher ed education, correct? And so now you are an entrepreneur. You're still educating, but then you are in the entrepreneur arena. Why was that important to you?
Great question, Renee. It was very important to me to really transition because in higher education, they really need to know what we have as an entrepreneur. I love being in higher ed. I love educating people. However, 2 reasons why it was very important to me to transition. Number one, the average income in America has not moved. You find that the average income, say, for example, of $50,000 10 years ago is maybe 53,000 now, give or take. Same thing in higher education. So I knew, number two, my pay grade was well below my worth. So that is why I knew as an entrepreneur, I could make my own resume, I can make my own pay, and I could create my own worth. That's why I switched. And not really switch because I'm still educating people, but I don't have to worry about someone giving me a paycheck versus making my own.
So basically, be in control of what you earn. That's what I'm hearing you saying right now. You
Absolutely.
chose entrepreneurship because you wanted to be in control, not for somebody else to determine your worth, but then for you to bring yourself to the marketplace and say, "This is what I am worth." So that is amazing. But then why a entrepreneurship in the financial services industry? Why was that important to you? Why did you choose to be in that space?
It's so funny that you said that because I actually fell into it.
Mhm.
Um, I used to teach GED in a community college for a while, and I found out so many young adults, and not just young adults, because as you know, people that are teaching or that are taking classes for a GED, they've always had trouble with math, right? They've always had trouble with multiplication and division, just the basics, which shows me that back in third grade, they had issues there. So, with that said, when it comes to finances, it just it's like it goes hand in hand. They have problems with just simple calculations. They have many people, especially young adults, have issues with just keeping up with how much they're spending every day. I taught a financial literacy class in a community college, and helping those young people to understand how much they're wasting on a daily basis was incredible for them to realize after they calculated how much they're spending per month and how much they're spending per year. I wanted to make sure that I was able to educate people in this area, not just on how to save money, but also how to make money work for you.
We definitely need that in our community. We need to not only know how to uh, work for money, because we're good about working for money, okay? But when it comes to making that money work for us, and then for us to then transition, like you have, to having our own empire, that's when we need a little bit more help. And so I'm so grateful that you have decided to be part of this amazing industry, because it is so needed. But then let's go back to your personal experience. I mean, you have a doctoral degree, so I'm assuming that's more than 20 years of schooling. And then so what was your experience going through that in the aspect of financial literacy? Did you yourself go to some classes? Was that even offered to you when you were going to school?
Not at all. Renee, not one class was on financial literacy. Not in high school, not in college, not in grad school, and certainly not in a doctoral program. So there was none, and which is sad. Now, of course, you'll find that a lot of kids in high school, they may take an accounting class, they may take a bookkeeping class, they
Yes.
may even take a consumer education class. Great to know how to write out a check. But how many times have you heard of someone learning how to understand taxes? You know what
Mm.
I've understood now? That there's two types of taxes. There's taxes for the informed and there's taxes for the uninformed.
Yes, talk about
Yeah,
that. Talk about
right.
that.
And if you don't know something, it's going to work against you. So
Mhm.
to answer your question, not one class was on money. See, we go to school to learn how to get a job, and we
Yes.
go get a job for money. Well, why
Yes.
can't we just learn about money? They don't want you to learn
Exactly.
that. They don't want you to learn
That
about
was my
money.
next question. My next question to you was, why do you think that is, though?
Well, I think, Renee, a lot of it has to do with they want you to stay working for somebody. They don't want you to be an entrepreneur,
Mm.
because if you're an entrepreneur, then you're thinking for yourself. They want you to know how to get a job so that you can obey orders.
Mhm.
Think about it. You have to learn when you're a child, line up, listen to the teacher, make sure
Mm.
you follow directions. And all the way through, we are taught that. Get a good job. Make sure you go to school, get good grades so you can get a good job, so that eventually after 30, 40 years of working for the man, that you'll retire on your pension. And then you have what? A good life?
No,
Not
not at
anymore.
all. Not at
Not at
all.
all.
So you just
Exactly.
touching a whole other subject right now in regards to, us working, and supposedly there'll be a pension, but as we've seen with so many companies, declaring bankruptcy and then canceling the pension program, that's not always guaranteed. So I think I'm gonna have to bring you back for that topic itself. But then let's go back to you talked about that, financial literacy was not part of the conversation, for you going to school. And you talk about how it may be due to us being trained to be employees versus entrepreneur. Um, so why do you feel that you wanted to be part of the industry to help bring entrepreneur in our industry, not only any entrepreneur but people who look like us, because certainly there is a need for people of color, Black Americans, African Americans to be part of this industry.
Absolutely. Well, I'm here to help my people, people of color, middle America. There's so much that we don't know when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to having money work for you. There's so much that we don't know. And this industry, number one, is what, a $63 trillion industry, right? And so when we understand how the wealthy stay wealthy and have access to that information, you can leave a legacy for your families. So many of our people are getting ill all the time. Neighborhoods, and we go to the worst stores because that's in our neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it continues to the bad foods that we eat. For example, it keeps the certain industries thriving, right? It keeps, if you're continuing to get sick all the time, then it's going to continue to keep money in their hands. Well, when you can know better, you can do better, you can eat better, right? You can have access to better, and you can make quality decisions, and you can have options. And that is the one thing I want to help my people to understand, is to have options. When you don't have options, then you're in bondage. You are bound because you don't have a place to go. You don't have options. So that is why I'm in this industry, so I can help people to really set the captives free so that they may have options.
That goes back to, I know you said that you, even when you are in the higher ed, educator, being an educator, you implemented financial literacy in the I guess the program that you are teaching. Talk about why was that important for you? Like,
Wow.
why did you want to be the voice to help our community?
Absolutely. We have so many young adults that are coming into, I'll say, for my experience, community colleges, and even universities, but they're without knowledge. See, the workforce, they're not without positions, especially before COVID, of course. But what they did not have are the skill sets. I wanted to bring skill sets to young adults in the area that I was teaching. And the skill set was understanding financial literacy. That was the basics. If you don't understand the basics of how to know where your money is going on a day-by-day basis, if you can't understand that, then you'll never be able to keep anything. You won't be able to buy a car. If you do buy a car, that's what it's possessed. If you do buy a house, you're going to be evicted because you don't know how to maintain your mortgage, right? So the basics of financial literacy is so important. And that's why I created a curriculum when I was in the community college for the young people, so that they can understand, even on a very, very small scale, about daily financial literacy, understanding about money, and understanding even about life insurance. Don't you know that is, for those that are listening, I know you know, René, but even in the area of life insurance, that is a foundation for one's financial, your financial house. So that is something, that is what the wealthy know. They know that. But our people don't. We think it's death insurance, but it's life insurance. It's not just for someone that passes away, but it should be for your financial foundation. What we do all the time is just get sick. You might say, yeah, I have my 401k. I'm good. Okay, fine. But as soon as you have a stroke, as soon as you have a heart attack, as soon as you have COVID-19 complications, something that is going to take you out with 2 out of the 6 daily activities. You
Yes.
recover from it in time, but what happens is it just destroys your financial home.
Yes. Yes.
So that is
One thing.
why, yes, go ahead.
So I'm so glad you're sharing that, because you're saying that you took the initiative to create a curriculum where you can teach financial literacy. And then you also mentioned how there's a lack of information in our community. But then talk about how sometimes, even though we are out here sharing this information and just want to teach people, but not everybody want to learn. And why do you feel like there's a lot of skepticism when it comes to financial literacy and financial education? And then you talk about life insurance and about how our community can take advantage of these product and services and solution that different communities are taking advantage of, but then we are skeptical about them. Talk about that a little bit.
Great question, Renee. My heart goes out to my people, people of color, that people are skeptical is because of their past experiences. They've been burned. They've gone through a lot of scams and frauds and, a lot of bad experiences. And we hold on to the past. And anything that takes any bit of security away, they'll say, "Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. I know it happened to me before, so no, no, no." And that's unfortunate because we want to bring truth to people. But because they've been hurt, they're going to hold on to that and be very skeptical about opening up. And then another thing about our people, unfortunately, we're very, very secretive. We don't want to tell anybody anything.
Yes.
And so it keeps them from helping themselves.
Yes.
I had a cousin, really quickly, if I may share an experience. She passed away. However, she didn't share her information with her family. So we were able to come over to her home and help her with her policy. And I'm grateful that we were able to, just look it over to make sure everything was intact. So when she passed away, even her family didn't know that she had a policy. We ended up having to call her son and her family members to let them know, she's covered, everything is fine. Her son was like, wow. He was so elated to know that, he was, of course, grief stricken, but he
Yes.
knew, he found out, that she was covered and he was her only beneficiary. He was able to start his trucking company. So those kinds of things are very, very important. But had we not been there, her family probably would not have even known. And that's why when we're so secretive about everything, then it really hinders us from helping ourselves. That's why we want to help our communities so that they can, in fact, leave a legacy.
That was, I mean, like, that was such an emotional story. And I'm glad you shared that, because not only you're talking about not only that you're talking about the peace of mind aspect, because a lot of time, life insurance can never replace a family member. It will never ever replace your loved one. What it does though, it replaces the economic value that this person, had brought to the family, to the unit. And then so now you're talking about a son, who has a peace of mind that he can go ahead and bury her mom with dignity, and not being able to, fight and then, begging family members to help. And also you talked about legacy. Now, in her death, she was able to help her son create a company. And it does he have kids, Tracy?
Yes, it does. Yes.
And now she's creating a legacy, not only for her son but for her children. Talk about that a little bit. What did that mean to the son?
Oh, my goodness. He's been able to refer people to our company now. He was so grateful. And that kind of gratefulness, you just pass forward, you pass on. because when you have that kind of peace of mind and you're able to start something you've only dreamt about, such as your own trucking company, it's beyond being, it's, grateful is, that's like limited words. So now he's able to share this information with his children, and he's referring other people to us so that we can help them help their families as well. So it's a
That's
gift that keeps on giving.
keeps on giving. It keeps on giving, and you just need one person to start. You just need one family member to be the example, and in order we'll see what an amazing impact that is. And that's how we show love, because we can tell our loved ones that we love them all day long, but if we do not act behind that love and have proper protection in place, so that even if we are sick or even when we do pass away, that we don't become a burden for us, for them, then therefore, what is the love? I just want to give a quick shout out. Hello to everyone watching. I am René Antoine. I am live in conversation with Dr. Traci Brooks. So we are a entrepreneur in the financial services industry, and we are all about collaboration and not competition. And then so we want to be able to come together and bring as much value to our community, to share the importance of having a solid financial home. And then so thank you to all who are watching. I'm giving a shout out to Jared. I interviewed Jared. He just given us rocket ship. And then Alenta says, great question. When I asked about the skepticism when it comes to our community, she said, great question. People are skeptical about financial products in our community. And she also says that preparation is key. And I agree about that. Preparation is certainly key. Sharing information and knowledge is how we all learn and become less reluctant about financial products. Definitely, we need to learn. And go ahead and talk to us, Traci, about why is it important? Because right now, the financial services industry, just like you said, is a $63 trillion industry. And if you look at, I did some research about financial advisors. We are not financial advisors. We teach people about financial education and we can help with a certain products. But then look at financial advisors, only 3.5% are people of color, Black Americans. Okay. And then so therefore, now financial industry, the banking system, the insurance industry, they are looking for talents who look like you and I. So talk about the need for diversity that there is now for our industry.
Absolutely. Each one can reach one. There are people that only Renee can reach in her sphere of influence. There are people that only I can reach in my sphere of influence. There are people that only you can reach in your sphere of influence. So that is why each one can reach many. I was talking with a woman who referred someone, and those referrals, they last forever. I was able to reach someone out in Nevada who was referred from 3 different people, and who's now in business with me, and it was life or death to her. So to answer your question, yes, we need people that look like us in this industry. We can relate to people that look like us, right? So that is so important. And because the world is changing now, we are really no longer the minority, right? The Latino population is more of the minority. And guess what? It's all a melting pot, and we can reach so many people in the middle class. It doesn't have to be just one segment of a particular persuasion or population. So when you hear life insurance, it doesn't have to just be, the Caucasian. It is, you can reach the middle class. You can reach people that look like you. We need that. We need more people that look like you in this industry.
And so, if somebody is listening to this conversation right now, I see you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the love. I am live in conversation with Dr. Traci Brooks, and we are all about teaching our community about the importance of financial literacy and building a solid financial home. Tracy, if somebody is watching right now and they are considering entrepreneurship, right? So talk to us about why is it now is so important for all of us to be entrepreneur. And I'm not saying that, not have a 9 to 5, but then how can we include entrepreneurship as a secondary or primary to what we're currently doing? And why should someone consider entrepreneurship in the financial services industry? I know you talked about that a little bit, but maybe like share that more with us, please.
Okay, so let me ask you this, those that are watching. If you were around in 2008, 2009, there was a big market crash, right? And recently in March, tremendous crash. People were going crazy. So if you have a 401k right now, you lost money during that crash because it's hooked to the S&P 500. It's connected to the stock market. So let me ask you this. Is the stock market reliable? Absolutely not. It goes up and goes down. You can lose money, correct? Of course you can. That is the number one why I would highly recommend having financial services as a part-time entrepreneurship position or gig, something part-time. Why? Because it's recession-proof. The industry has been around for over 2,000 years. So until people stop having babies or passing away, it's here to stay. It's always going to be relevant. So my encouragement to you, you don't know from day to day if you're going to lose your job. You can lose your job today. You can lose your job tomorrow. You don't know. So my encouragement to you is certainly to have another foot in financial services. So that way you can control your finances. You can make, you can make, you can control your own finances and your own destiny and leave a legacy for your family.
Leave a legacy for your family. I'm so glad you shared that, Tracy. Thank you so much for being with me in this lunch break conversation. So Thrive with René purpose is to bring people who are thriving in the industry to come and share with us some knowledge, some tips, some tools to help us succeed. Because now more than ever, we need to start looking around us and see what's working and what's not working. And if we see something is working, why not at least find out about it? At least find out about it. Be willing to educate yourself so that you can then educate your family and educate your community. So I have a last question for you, Tracy. I know I told you 30 minutes, but then I have a doctor with me. I'm going to take as much knowledge from you as I can. So you say, so right now, but somebody may say, well, like, how do I know if this is a good fit for me or not? Okay. So what advice do you have for someone who's thinking, okay, I don't know whether I can do this or not?
Okay. Well, sure. Well, give us, contact us on Facebook. You know how to reach us, Traci Brooks. You can reach René Antoine. Just contact us. Let's have a conversation. So let me ask you this. What is it that you want to do? Are you happy on your job? Thank God for your job if you're working. Yes. Thank God for it. We're not suggesting by any means that you leave your job, but let me ask you this. What is it that you want to do? Who do you want to be? What is it that you've always wanted to do? Sometimes people have dreams, but then because their dreams have been shattered, they're just going through the motions of a regular 9 to 5 and they can't stay in their job. They're just there to get a paycheck. You'll do just enough to get paid. And guess what? Your boss
just enough not to get fired.
Right. That's right. He's paying you just enough so you don't, so that you don't get fired. So, so the point of it is, if you want to see if this is a good fit, contact us. Let's have a conversation. To be in this industry, I'm going to be upfront. It's $199. That's a one-time investment for you. Sometimes we don't want to invest in ourselves, but we'll invest in everything else, right? We'll pay $200-300 for some Jordans, right? We have insurance on everything else. We have insurance on our phones. We have insurance on our house. We have insurance on everything else, but we don't want to insure our own lives. What's wrong with that picture? Something is certainly wrong with that picture.
You on
So,
fire, Dr. Tracy.
well, I'm very passionate about what we do because I see it so often. And I really want people to understand that you can have control over your time. You can get your time back. I'm a caregiver for 3 people. And I'm grateful to God every day, Lord, I thank you that I can be home, and without COVID. COVID is just a plus. And I'll tell you why. Don't you know, through COVID, people are now thinking about their mortality. And guess what? They're giving us a call. They're getting life insurance because they're thinking about their mortality.
So
So
you're telling me right now that there's a need for what we're doing.
there's an absolute need for what we do. Therefore, that's where you come in. If you're thinking about doing something on the side, contact us. We want to help as many people as we can. All right? That's why it's our industry, people helping people.
Yes, people helping people. And then so I know I said last question before, but last question. You were educator, right? So talk about like the
Yes.
level of training that it took, okay, and then how much money that it cost you. I mean, obviously in general, you know, the entry level point to be an educator versus being an entrepreneur in the financial services industry. What was that like
Oh
for
my
you?
goodness. Well, I should say that my testimony is a little bit different than most because I just happened to be working for the university. So I got the complete tuition waiver. Then they stopped it after I got into my doctoral program. However, you're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. Not only that, you're also talking about a lot of student loans. So it's very important to people to know in this industry, it's a fraction of that, 199. Just a fraction of that. And so it's very important to know. Hi, sweetheart. I'm on Facebook. Please don't open the door. Please don't open the door. So it's very important to know that in this industry, it's just a fraction of that. $199 as your investment. Why? It doesn't cost any, and you'll get that hand over fist. You'll need to get licensed in this industry. We're in 49 states, including Puerto Rico. So it's going to be, if you are interested in this industry, we can accommodate you in any state that you're in.
Yes. So thank you for sharing this knowledge with us. Thank you for being with me here in this Thrive with René lunch break conversation. I so appreciate who you are and what you do and how you are all about helping people thrive. And so with that being said, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
And yes, and much success to you and to the people that are so fortunate to be helped by you. I appreciate you, Dr. Tracy. Thank you for being
Thank
live.
you so much. Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome. Any last maybe message for our audience? Oh, reach out to Dr. Tracy. And as a matter of fact, I always do that so people can see because when I was looking for you, there was another Tracy. So I want to show them exactly which Tracy Brooks to request. And then Tracy is also in Instagram. Uh, just Tracy Brooks on Instagram.
Yes.
So yes, okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. So this is Dr. Tracy Brooks' page, as you all can see. And then we are live now. This is the live, and then she always bringing value. And then so go ahead and like her page, send her a friend request if you need to, and then go through this video so you can get some tips, get some knowledge. Let us educate ourselves so that we can educate our family and we can educate our community so that we can be in a mindset of creating generational wealth. Dr. Tracy, and you say you are on Instagram as well. Let me see if I can look you up. Uh, just Tracy Books, right?
Yes, with an I, Tracy with an I.
Yes. And I did confuse that too. So I think it's Tracy G Books. I
Yes,
think that's you right
yes,
there.
Tracy G.
Yes.
Yes,
So let me go
absolutely.
follow you right there. Let me go back to you. Stop screen. So go ahead and follow Traci G. Brooks on Instagram, and then you'll be able to connect with her. And then just reach out to her, especially if you're an educator. If you're an educator and you want to know what her experience been like and why, maybe you yourself. This is our coach, Matt Sapala. Okay, this man is amazing. He's there for us, and you have people in your corner who's gonna help you. So you're not gonna be in this by yourself, but then you're gonna have Traci, you're gonna have myself, you're gonna have other leaders in our industry who's more than happy to help you. So Traci, once again, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you, and much success to you in this industry.
Thank you
Have a good
so
day.
much. Mwah. Thank you for
You're
the
welcome.
invitation. God bless
You,
you. Thanks
God
for
bless
listening,
you.
everyone.
Certainly.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone. Kindly share it.
Okay, thank you.